$10 a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need.
Celebrating 80 years of trusted news and local connections. This is Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The state of Illinois and city of Chicago accused President Trump of waging a long-declared war on Chicago, and in a lawsuit described his plans to send federal troops to the city as unlawful and dangerous. That suit filed after a federal judge in Oregon blocked the administration's plans to use the National Guard in Portland.
The White House insists President Trump is within his authority to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, despite a federal judge's ruling this weekend that the administration has ignored, quote, the facts on the ground. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The president is using his authority as Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Code 12406, which clearly states that the president has the right to call up the National Guard in cases where he deems it's appropriate.
Leavitt said the White House is appealing the decision and expects a hearing quickly. She said the White House is confident it will win on the merits of the law. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The government shutdown continues, and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was at Newark International Airport and says there have been a slight increase in sick calls among air traffic controllers, a group he says are now under even more stress.
At a time when they're already working on equipment from the 1960s, 1980s, 1990s, we ask them to do their jobs on equipment that has not been state-of-the-art.
He says the skies are still safe. It's the first day of the Supreme Court's new term. The court declined to hear the appeal of Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. ABC's Devin Dwyer has more.
She had asked the justices to look at her conviction, her prosecution. She alleged that a non-prosecution agreement made with Jeffrey Epstein before his death should have applied to her, that she shouldn't have been prosecuted as well. But the justices declined to take up her appeal.
Indirect talks underway in Egypt between Israel and Hamas, and the acting head of the CDC says the MMR shot should be broken up into 3, echoing a suggestion from President Trump that does not appear to be rooted in science. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Nobel Prize Week, and the first prize awarded went to a trio of researchers, says ABC's Sherry Preston.
The 3 scientists, 2 from the U.S. and 1 from Japan, who won the Nobel Prize for Medicine, were given the award for their work in how the immune system fights off germs without overreacting. Their discoveries could pave the way for new cancer-fighting technologies or possibly new treatments for those living with autoimmune diseases. The Nobel Peace Prize will be handed out on Friday.
One of the most watched elections this year is for mayor of New York City, where Democratic socialist Zohran Mamdani won the Democratic primary, but former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's running as an independent, says a Mamdani win would be a gift for the president.
Mamdani becoming mayor is the excuse Trump needs, says Cuomo on ABC's The View.
He said, if they elect this person, then I, Donald Trump, am going to have to step in, take over New York to protect the good people of New York.
Cuomo says the president will go around the nation before midterm elections saying Democrats are now communists who hate the police. Cuomo says he's the last person Trump wants as mayor.
During COVID, I was the governor, he was the president. We fought on a daily basis.
And New Yorkers watched it, he says.
That's ABC's Chuck Sievertson. The NBA's all-time leading scorer, LeBron James, is teasing another decision 15 years after he said he was taking his talents to South Beach. He says he'll make an announcement tomorrow. Amid speculation, he'll retire after this NBA season. I'm Brian.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Whitlock for the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Monday, October 6th. A first-of-its-kind project now underway at the Port of Port Angeles, where scientists are testing new ways to fight climate change and protect marine life. Ebb Carbon has launched Project Makoma, a 2-year pilot project designed to reduce ocean acidification while also pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. The facility is already operating in the Port Angeles harbor, drawing in seawater, removing acid, and returning a more alkaline flow back into the bay. The project's operating at the Port of Port Angeles terminal just west of the Port Angeles boat haven. Supporters say nearly a third of Puget Sound species are vulnerable to acidification, which makes it harder for shellfish and other organisms to build their shells. They say that has direct impacts on the state's $270 million shellfish industry, which supports more than 3,000 jobs. Project Makoma is expected to remove up to 500 tons of carbon dioxide a year and deacidify more than 70 million gallons of seawater over the 2-year trial. Researchers will monitor how it affects oysters, sealgrass, and other local marine life. Officials say while the Port Angeles pilot is modest compared to the scale of the world's oceans, it's about proving that the system can be scaled up. And if that succeeds, Ebb Carbon says the work here could serve as a model for larger projects around the world. Now with a look at a few things that happened over this past few days, here's Sandy Keys with his weekend wrap-up.
We had the gift of another gorgeous weekend that gave us some unexpected statistics. No reported burglaries, but the sticky-fingered among us were busy pumping up the usually low theft number to 14, and 4 of those were car thefts at South Laurel, East 4th, East Front, plus 1 way out west at Beaver. It's unknown if any of those were among the abandoned cars found in Sequim at Youngquist Road and at 101 and Luella Road. Only a few reports of disturbances, 5 in Greater Sequim, 6 in Port Angeles, but there were other disturbing complaints, 6 cases of harassment, 2 threats of bodily harm, 2 domestic violences. One of those was at 101 and Colonel's Way, the other in the 1200 block of East Caroline. Actual assaults were investigated Friday morning in Sequim at Gary Oak Drive, that evening at South Race, and Saturday night at East Lardson Boulevard. 12 citizens requested assistance for a variety of reasons. 1 minor in Forks also received police assistance of another kind. He had that because of being a minor in possession. Weapons discharges were reported along 8th Street and 11th Street, Port Angeles, plus 1 at Clallam Bay. Animal abuse complaints were made regarding a situation at Lone Fir and Roop Road, Sequim, and there were 2 complaints regarding the same thing at Sequim's Parish Road. The weekend's first vehicle accident was at 2nd and Bell, Sequim, 1:30 Friday afternoon, and after that there were 6 more investigated, including a multi-car crash 12:15 Saturday afternoon at Lordson Boulevard in South Race. Also, officers made 23 welfare checks, some of those generated by police, others requested by citizens. The weekend's traffic stops totaled more than 16 by Sunday morning, and I made it 17 stops mid-Sunday morning. I stopped myself when I thought I saw, out of the corner of my eye, that the familiar gasoline price sign of $4.99.9 a gallon had changed. Suddenly, and without warning, the price was dropped a shocking 20 cents a gallon. If I hadn't been on my way to work, I'd have bought a tank full, just out of shock and gratitude. In fact, I think I still will. Sandy Keys, KONP Local News.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
You may have seen on the news, gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Squim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
News Radio KONP is once again your home for Seattle Kraken hockey.
Ty Karches, a short-handed bandit.
Catch every face-off, every goal, and every thrilling moment all season long.
E.T. phones home.
The puck drops on a new campaign October 9th, and you'll hear it right here. The Olympic Peninsula's home for Kraken hockey. News Radio KONP.
And front scores.
In other news, drivers heading into Port Townsend will see new speed limit signs along State Route 20. State Department of Transportation has permanently lowered the speed from 50 miles an hour down to 40 miles an hour from just west of the Highway 19 interchange to just west of Mill Road. WSDOT says the change follows recent speed studies through the corridor, and the new limits are enforceable right now. Seattle police arrested a 25-year-old man Saturday evening after he allegedly rammed his SUV into a van carrying a family of 4 during a suspected road rage incident in North Seattle. It happened about 5:30 p.m. near Meridian Avenue North and North 40th Street as the SUV and van tried to pass each other on a narrow road. Police say the SUV driver became visibly angry, made obscene gestures, and then hit the van head-on, causing it to catch fire. A couple in their 40s and their 2 daughters, ages 7 and 10, escaped not injured. The mother told police she believed the crash was intentional. The man was arrested for multiple counts of assault with a deadly weapon and booked into the King County Jail. Researchers at Washington State University have identified a new way to ease alcohol withdrawal symptoms by targeting the brain's cerebellum. In a recent study, scientists found that manipulating that region, known for motor control, helped reduce both physical coordination issues and emotional distress, key factors in relapse. The findings offer a new approach to treating alcohol use disorder, which affects about 29 million Americans. The team used a synthetic compound known as Compound 6, which then calmed withdrawal symptoms in mice without affecting the rest of the brain. Researchers say the cerebellum may be a promising therapeutic target for future treatment, though clinical trials remain in early stages. Millions of birds are migrating south over Washington this fall, with the peak season underway this week. Researchers at Purdue University say migration is reaching its height here in western Washington. Over the weekend, more than 16 million birds flew across our state. Most birds migrate at night, navigating by the stars, but artificial lighting can disorient them, increasing the risk of collision and exhaustion. To help, scientists are urging residents to join the Keep the Lights Out effort by dimming or turning off your outdoor lights between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. during this peak migration this week. Additional tips include closing blinds to reduce indoor light spill and avoiding lighting outdoor features that may attract birds. This is News Radio KONP.
Medicare open enrollment is here. For a lot of people, it's still confusing. But don't worry, help is available with the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and Sheba. Find out what's changing and learn your Medicare options with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Get your free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit now at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
Coming up this afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Field Hall Steve Rader Ginsburg previews some upcoming events, plus a KONP Candidate Forum with Mary Hebert and Nancy Hamilton for Port Angeles School Board.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
In 1983, Tom and Ida McEwen opened All Weather Heating and Cooling. Their vision for a family-owned and operated business with personalized customer service made them the #1 choice for all your heating and cooling needs. By 2014, it was time to pass down the business, and daughter Janae and her business partner Dustin Halverson purchased All Weather. In preserving Tom and Ida's vision, customer service is still their number one priority. All Weather Heating and Cooling, because everyone calls us.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 62 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies, winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies again tonight, lows level out for around 49. Daytime highs approaching 62 tomorrow, a blend of clouds and sun. Mid-50s Wednesday with a chance for isolated showers. Warmer Thursday with highs in the upper 50s, showers continue. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 57 Friday, 54 Saturday, and 52 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 57 degrees.
No more unbeatens. Good morning. I'm Jay Reynolds. Week 5, seeing the last 2 NFL unbeatens losing at home in Buffalo. Patriots get a game-winning field goal with 20 seconds to go and knock off the Bills 23-20. Broncos rally in the fourth quarter in Philly and beat the Eagles 21-17. Jalen Hurts sacked 6 times in the loss. Saints get their first win. They beat the Giants, who had trouble protecting the ball.
Hard to win when you turn the ball over 5 times and it was 5 consecutive drives.
Giants coach Brian Daboll, 5 straight offensive turnovers, most in a game over the last 20 seasons in the NFL. Daniel Jones and the Colts, meanwhile, a 40-6 rout of the Raiders. Jonathan Taylor rushes for 3 touchdowns. Texans dominate the Ravens, who are now 1-4. Cowboys get 4 touchdown passes from Dak Prescott. They beat the Jets 37-22. Titans win a wild one with Arizona, 22-21. Kyler Murray calling it, quote, how to lose a game 101. Lions get past the Bengals. Detroit is 4-1 for the 3rd straight season. Washington scores 27 unanswered and beats the Chargers 27-10. Panthers rally past Miami 27-24. Vikings get a game-winning touchdown in the final half minute. They beat Cleveland. Buccaneers 38-35 over Seattle. Tampa Bay has 4 wins by 3 points or fewer. Aces a 13-point win over the Mercury. They go up 2-0 in the WNBA Finals. Game 3 coming up on Wednesday. On the diamond,
22-year-old fires. A swing and a miss. Trey Yasavich is making it look like he's a big leaguer at a Little League game. He has struck out 6 in a row and 10 through 4 innings.
Carl Ravitch on ESPN Radio. Blue Jays go up 2-0 on the Yankees with a 13-7 win. Mariners edge the Tigers 3-2, Seattle's first home playoff win since 2001. College football, Ohio State stays number 1. Miami moves up a spot to number 2.
In local sports, it was a rough Friday night for both Port Angeles and Sequim on the football field. The Rough Riders fell to the North Kitsap Vikings 31-7, while Sequim dropped a 34-12 decision to Bremerton. The Wolves took a beating physically. 7 starters were sidelined by injuries. Aaron Goldbeck was already out under concussion protocol, and Malachi Hampton was also unavailable. And Sequim won't get much time to recover as powerhouse North Kitsap comes to town this Friday night. Port Angeles, now 2-3, will travel to Bainbridge to take on the winless Spartans. Bainbridge at 0-5 lost more than 20 seniors from last year's squad and lost its starting quarterback to injury in the season opener. The Spartans are averaging just 10 points per game while allowing 41, though they were competitive in a 28-14 loss to 4-1 North Mason last week. You can catch the Port Angeles-Bainbridge game here on KONP with Greg Thomas and Joe Gladfelter on the call for us. Former Sequim Wolf Jack Henninger continues as the starting kicker for the University of the Mary Marauders. The Marauders are 3-3 this season. Henninger has hit 3 field goals and converted 18 of 20 extra points. Mary hosts Minnesota State Moorhead this Saturday in Bismarck. Former Rough Rider Lily Hallberg is in her sophomore season with Lower Columbia College volleyball. The Red Devils are 2-1 in conference play, 6-8 overall. Hallberg has appeared in all 14 matches, including 4 starts, totaling 55 sets, 20 assists, 22 service aces, and 192 digs. In high school tennis action today, Port Angeles travels to Olympic and Sequim visits Bainbridge. Both matches start at 4 o'clock.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Markets continue to be mixed with the Dow down, but the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both up. AMD, a big part of the NASDAQ's rise, as shares are still trading above 25% higher today on the news. The company signed a deal with OpenAI for AI infrastructure that could generate tens of billions of dollars in new revenue. Boeing is looking to increase production of its 737 MAX jets. Sources telling Bloomberg that Boeing is informing suppliers that 737 MAX output could reach 42 jets per month as soon as this month, with another production increase set for next spring. The FAA would have to approve the increased production. The 737 MAX has been plagued by in-flight mishaps, regulatory groundings, as well as mass cancellations of orders by airlines. According to Adobe, American shoppers will be spending over $253 billion in online holiday shopping in November and December. That would be an increase of a little over 5% from last year. Adobe says buy now, pay later options will account for roughly 20% of purchases. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's check the traffic next.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that means there's no better time than now to educate yourself on preventing, finding, and treating breast cancer. Visit Olympic Medical Center's online health library to answer questions like, what should I know about mammograms? Does my family history put me at risk for breast cancer? And what questions should I ask my doctor? Find answers to these questions and more at olympicmedical.org/breastcancer.
LS Tractor. Do more for less. More standard features, more capacity, and more operator comfort. LS Tractor gives you more. A comprehensive warranty and more PTO horsepower. Do more on your farm, ranch, or acreage. Mow it, grade it, till it, or move it. Stop by your local participating dealer and join the growing LS Tractor family today.
Find the perfect LS tractor for you at Leitz Farm Supply in Sequim. Locally owned and operated, call Leitz at 360-452-1400.
LS Tractor. Simply more.
News Radio KONP, Traffic and Roads.
All right, let's head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center, and that's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the roads for us this noon hour. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of steady traffic out there right now. If you're in Port Angeles and Sequim, a fair amount of cars trying to make their way through right now. For the most part, we're pretty close to the speed limit getting through town, but there are delays at the stoplights and a little slowdowns in a couple areas. But overall, we're doing pretty good. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, you're going to find a fairly slow traffic through our construction area right now. That's kind of backing up just a little bit. Baker's Dip and Lee's Creek area. Also at Morris Creek, they have the, I believe it's the westbound lanes down to a single lane coming around the Morris Creek area, so that is causing some backup issues out there as well. Now, if you're headed beyond Sequim, Hood Canal Bridge is good to go with no scheduled marine openings. State ferries are running on time today. If you're headed out towards the Forks area, no real problems there. 101's in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. A little slowdowns through our construction area here. The single lane with the automated stoplights, they've been running some big trucks up and down the hill, and that's been kind of slowing things down. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. So everybody stay safe this afternoon and enjoy it. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thanks, Steve. Your weather forecast, sunny and mild the rest of the day today. Your highs are going to be into the mid-60s this afternoon. For tonight, going to be mostly clear, lows mid-40s, mostly sunny again tomorrow, and staying in the 60s as well. Right now, temperature and condition-wise across the peninsula, clear skies in the east end and Port Townsend there at 59. Out west, Forks has a few clouds there to 64 now. 61 with some scattered clouds in Sequim and a few clouds and sun mixed here in Port Angeles, where it's now 61 degrees as well. It is at 12:23.
ABC Entertainment News.
Taylor Swift isn't just breaking streaming records with her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. The corresponding movie, The Official Release Party of a Showgirl, debuted at number 1 at the North American box office this weekend, raking in $33 million. One battle after another was second, with over $11 million in its second weekend of release. The Paul Thomas Anderson movie, which stars Leonardo DiCaprio, has now earned more than $100 million globally. Meanwhile, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's The Smashing Machine, a biopic of UFC fighter Mark Kerr, debuted at number 3. And happy birthday to pop star Addison Rae. She started out as a prominent creator on TikTok and now sings chart-topping hits like Diet Pepsi. Addison Rae is 25. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
For years, we've been talking about the health benefits of drinking coffee. We may as well keep that up, because a new study out of the University of Toronto found that women who drank 1 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee per day in their 50s were more likely to reach older age free from chronic major diseases with good cognitive, physical, and mental health. You're going to ask, what about men? Well, I should note that this research relied on data from the nearly 50,000 women who were part of the Nurses' Health Study. Previous studies have shown that coffee is good for guys as well, though. Now remember, coffee can lose its health benefits quickly if you load up your cup with too much cream, sugar, or other sweeteners. If you don't drink coffee, I'm not suggesting you start just for health. But if you do, maybe this news will help you enjoy it a little bit more. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. I heard someone comment the other day that we give too much honor and praise to our American military. Oh, really? I'll tell you that story after this important message.
Hello, Jerry Stewart here. Question: what are you, an American or an Americant? You might be saying, what's the difference? Glad you asked. An American is someone who sees a problem in our nation, and rather than running from the problem, you stay. And you say, I can fix the problem. And you do, helping to make our great America even greater. And an Americant? Pretty simple, pretty sad. You say, there's a problem. You don't have a solution. You don't even try to make a solution. And that is being an Americant. And we don't need any more Americans, but more Americans. Do yourself a big favor. Go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and join our American Club by subscribing. And when you do, we'll send you an official American certificate to hang up and show to all that you're an American. So go to www.jerrystewartusa.com and join now. See you there.
After World War II, after seeing the American soldiers fight in 2 world wars, General Douglas MacArthur said this: always for them duty, honor, country, always their blood and sweat and tears as they saw the way and the light, the loneliness and desolation of jungle trails, the bitterness of long separation of those they loved and cherished. I do not know the dignity of their birth, but I do know the glory of their death. They died unquestioning, uncomplaining, with faith in their hearts and on their lips the hope that we would go to victory. We owe them so very much. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Hi, it's Alicia with Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative.
where we're more than a workplace, we're a family. We're worker-owned, worker-ran, and worker-profited, and proud to be named Emerging Business of the Year by our community. If you're a caregiver looking for a place where you're valued, or a family seeking care you can trust, you belong with us. Join our team or let us care for your loved one. Call 360-504-3837 today. Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative. Compassionate care powered by the community.
Coming up this afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, Field Hall Steve Rader Ginsburg previews some upcoming events, plus a KONP candidate forum with Mary Hebert and Nancy Hamilton for Port Angeles School Board.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
The Port Angeles Community Players invite you to The Foreigner on stage at the Playhouse every Friday and Tuesday night with matinee performances on Saturday and Sundays through October 12th. Don't miss this amazing and hilarious play, The Foreigner at the PACP Playhouse in Port Angeles. Are you wanting to protect waters in the Sequim area? There's a Pollution Identification and Correction Community Meeting Thursday, October 9th. It's at the Dungeness River Center in Sequim, hosted by Clallam County Environmental Health, the Clallam Conservation District, Jamestown Clallam Tribe, and Stream Keepers of Clallam County. Learn about the Sequim Dungeness Clean Water District and the assistance available for on-site septic system inspections, repairs, and agricultural technical support.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Hopes for peace are fresh today in the Middle East. However, there's a lot of work to do at the negotiating table between Israel and Hamas. Sam Mednick explains.
After 2 years of devastating war in Gaza, there is some hope at a breakthrough. Israel and Hamas are in Egypt meeting with mediators to discuss U.S. President Donald Trump's plan. But there is still a lot of questions and uncertainty, and there is no clear way out. While Israel has clobbered its enemies in the Middle East, it hasn't achieved its war goals in Gaza. Hamas has been weakened, but it's not defeated, and there are still hostages that remain there. Hamas has said that it is willing to release the hostages, but it hasn't addressed the issue of disarmament, something that Israel has demanded.
That is Sam Mednick reporting. The stalemate over how to end the government shutdown is stretching into another week with no clear resolution in sight. The Senate is expected to vote again at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time today on dueling measures to end it. At a news conference, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said serious consequences are right around the corner if the shutdown continues.
If the Democrats do not vote to open the government tonight, federal workers will not receive their next full paycheck. Additionally, the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children will run out of federal money very soon.
A snowstorm has trapped hundreds of hikers on Mount Everest.
Villagers with their oxen and horses have ascended the mountain as part of rescue efforts amidst the heavy snow. They're aiming to clear paths and bring down the trapped people. A hiker who managed to descend told Jimun News that the snowfall had crushed some tents. The snowstorm struck during a national holiday in China when many people go travelling. There's been no immediate update on rescue efforts so far. I'm Charles Tulithesma.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of The Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving you money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
The Supreme Court rejected appeal from the imprisoned former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein.
The Supreme Court has rejected an appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, the former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. Trump's administration had urged the High Court to stay out of the case. Lawyers for Maxwell argued she never should have been tried or convicted for a role in luring teen girls to be sexually abused by Epstein. Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison term. Mike Hempen, Washington.
President Trump says his policies have generated $17 trillion in new investments. The real number could be less. The White House website only lists $8.8 trillion as of now, even though that number does appear to be linked with some investment commitments made during Joe Biden's presidency. The White House did not lay out the math after multiple requests on how the $17 trillion figure was arrived at. Breaking news at townhall.com. A former NFL quarterback facing charges after being stabbed during a weekend altercation in Indiana.
Mark Sanchez was pepper sprayed and stabbed multiple times during a late-night altercation Saturday with a 69-year-old truck driver in an Indianapolis alley, which resulted in criminal charges against the Fox Sports analyst, according to court records filed Sunday. A police affidavit alleges that Sanchez smelled of alcohol and accosted the driver at a hotel's loading docks, leading to a confrontation outside the vehicle that prompted the driver to defensively pull out a knife.
That is Gethin Coolbaugh reporting. The LA Angels facing a court trial now over whether the team is responsible for the drug overdose death of one of its star pitchers. The family of pitcher Tyler Skaggs filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the team after he died of an overdose on a team trip to Texas back in 2019. More on these stories can be found at townhall.com.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Whitlock from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Monday, October 6th. A first-of-its-kind project now underway at the Port of Port Angeles, where scientists are testing new ways to fight climate change and protect marine life. Ebb Carbon has launched Project Makoma, a 2-year pilot project designed to reduce ocean acidification while also pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. The facility is already operating in the Port Angeles harbor, drawing in seawater, removing acid, and returning a more alkaline flow back into the bay. The project's operating at the Port of Port Angeles terminal just west of the Port Angeles boat haven. Supporters say nearly a third of Puget Sound species are vulnerable to acidification, which makes it harder for shellfish and other organisms to build their shells. They say that has direct impacts on the state's $270 million shellfish industry, which supports more than 3,000 jobs. Project Makoma is expected to remove up to 500 tons of carbon dioxide a year and deacidify more than 70 million gallons of seawater over the 2-year trial. Researchers will monitor how it affects oysters, sealgrass, and other local marine life. Officials say while the Port Angeles pilot is modest compared to the scale of the world's oceans, it's about proving that the system can be scaled up. And if that succeeds, Ebb Carbon says the work here could serve as a model for larger projects around the world. Now with a look at a few things that happened over this past few days, here's Sandy Keys with his weekend wrap-up.
We had the gift of another gorgeous weekend that gave us some unexpected statistics. No reported burglaries, but the sticky-fingered among us were busy pumping up the usually low theft number to 14, and 4 of those were car thefts at South Laurel, East 4th, East Front, plus 1 way out west at Beaver. It's unknown if any of those were among the abandoned cars found in Sequim at Youngquist Road and at 101 and Luella Road. Only a few reports of disturbances, 5 in Greater Sequim, 6 in Port Angeles, but there were other disturbing complaints, 6 cases of harassment, 2 threats of bodily harm, 2 domestic violences. One of those was at 101 and Colonel's Way, the other in the 1200 block of East Caroline. Actual assaults were investigated Friday morning in Sequim at Gary Oak Drive, that evening at South Race, and Saturday night at East Lardson Boulevard. 12 citizens requested assistance for a variety of reasons. 1 minor in Forks also received police assistance of another kind. He had that because of being a minor in possession. Weapons discharges were reported along 8th Street and 11th Street, Port Angeles, plus 1 at Clallam Bay. Animal abuse complaints were made regarding a situation at Lone Fir and Roop Road, Squim, and there were 2 complaints regarding the same thing at Squim's Parish Road. The weekend's first vehicle accident was at 2nd and Bell, Squim, 1:30 Friday afternoon, and after that there were 6 more investigated, including a multi-car crash 12:15 Saturday afternoon at Lordson Boulevard in South Race. Also, officers made 23 welfare checks, some of those generated by police, others requested by citizens. The weekend's traffic stops totaled more than 16 by Sunday morning, and I made it 17 stops mid-Sunday morning. I stopped myself when I thought I saw, out of the corner of my eye, that the familiar gasoline price sign of $4.99.9 a gallon had changed. Suddenly, and without warning, the price was dropped a shocking 20 cents a gallon. If I hadn't been on my way to work, I'd have bought a tank full, just out of shock and gratitude. In fact, I think I still will. Sandy Keys, KONP Local News.
At Straight View Credit Union, we believe that fast, flexible loan decisions are key to helping our members achieve their financial goals. That's why we're proud to offer a streamlined loan application process that takes place entirely in-house. All loan decisions are made locally, right here in our building, by our experienced lending team. This means that we can typically approve loans within 1 to 2 days. So you can get the funds you need quickly and efficiently. Plus, as a member-owned cooperative, we're committed to putting your needs first and providing personalized service that helps you achieve your financial goals. So, whether you're looking to purchase a new car, purchase a new home, make home improvements, or consolidate debt, we've got you covered. Visit us online at svcu.com or stop by our branch on Lincoln Street in Port Angeles to apply for your loan today. Straight View Credit Union. Fast, flexible loan decisions to help you reach your financial goals. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
More acres and more chores mean you have more ground to cover in a day. The all-new Bobcat utility tractors are built for it. With 3 models that feature open operating stations or fully enclosed cabs and up to 73 horsepower, plus a Category 2 3-point hitch for heavy implement work, these job-hungry machines take your capability to the next level. Stop into Brim Tractor in Carlsberg to find out about new Bobcat utility tractors.
In other news, drivers heading into Port Townsend will see new speed limit signs along State Route 20. State Department of Transportation has permanently lowered the speed from 50 miles an hour down to 40 miles an hour from just west of the Highway 19 interchange to just west of Mill Road. WSDOT says the change follows recent speed studies through the corridor, and the new limits are enforceable right now. Seattle police arrested a 25-year-old man Saturday evening after he allegedly rammed his SUV into a van carrying a family of 4 during a suspected road rage incident in North Seattle. It happened about 5:30 p.m. near Meridian Avenue North and North 40th Street as the SUV and van tried to pass each other on a narrow road. Police say the SUV driver became visibly angry, made obscene gestures, and then hit the van head-on, causing it to catch fire. A couple in their 40s and their 2 daughters, ages 7 and 10, escaped not injured. The mother told police she believed the crash was intentional. The man was arrested for multiple counts of assault with a deadly weapon and booked into the King County Jail. Researchers at Washington State University have identified a new way to ease alcohol withdrawal symptoms by targeting the brain's cerebellum. In a recent study, scientists found that manipulating that region, known for motor control, helped reduce both physical coordination issues and emotional distress, key factors in relapse. The findings offer a new approach to treating alcohol use disorder, which affects about 29 million Americans. The team used a synthetic compound known as Compound 6, which then calmed withdrawal symptoms in mice without affecting the rest of the brain. Researchers say the cerebellum may be a promising therapeutic target for future treatment, though clinical trials remain in early stages. Millions of birds are migrating south over Washington this fall, with the peak season underway this week. Researchers at Purdue University say migration is reaching its height here in western Washington. Over the weekend, more than 16 million birds flew across our state. Most birds migrate at night, navigating by the stars, but artificial lighting can disorient them, increasing the risk of collision and exhaustion. To help, scientists are urging residents to join the Keep the Lights Out effort by dimming or turning off your outdoor lights between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. during this peak migration this week. Additional tips include closing blinds to reduce indoor light spill and avoiding lighting outdoor features that may attract birds. This is News Radio KONP.
Looking for affordable home ownership on the peninsula? Mountain View Homes has you covered. Enjoy high-quality craftsmanship at 40% less than traditional homes. You heard me, 40% less. We offer full-service land packages from dirt to turnkey, delivering beautiful, efficient manufactured homes on your chosen site. With 3 convenient locations, including Carlsberg, we're here to serve you. Visit mtviewhomes.com today to learn more. Mountain View Homes, where affordability meets quality.
The Olympic Peninsula Fungi Festival is back October 18th and 19th at the Clallam County Fairgrounds in Port Angeles. Whether you're a mushroom enthusiast or just curious, there's something for everyone. You're also invited to kick off your fungi-filled weekend with our Friday keynote dinner, October 17th, with an exquisite culinary experience crafted by local chefs and paired with our keynote speaker, Langdon Cook. Don't miss this unique opportunity to celebrate the wonders of mushrooms, featuring lectures, hands-on workshops, guided forays, and more all weekend long. The Olympic Peninsula Fungi Festival is guaranteed to inspire something new. Experience the magic of fungi at the Olympic Peninsula Fungi Festival, October 18th and 19th, with free access at the Clallam County Fairgrounds. Get tickets at opfungifestival.com.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 62 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies, winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies again tonight, lows level out for around 49. Daytime highs approaching 62 tomorrow, a blend of clouds and sun. Mid-50s Wednesday with a chance for isolated showers. Warmer Thursday with highs in the upper 50s, showers continue. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 57 Friday, 54 Saturday, and 52 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 57 degrees.
Now, Seattle Mariners evening up the series with the Detroit Tigers in the ALDS. They move to Detroit tomorrow, and here's kind of the schedule of sports here on KONP this week. We're going to have baseball in the daytime for the next 2 games of the division series. In Detroit, we'll take the air tomorrow at noon. First pitch about 1. On Wednesday, we'll take the air about 11 a.m. with the first pitch at noon here on KONP as the Mariners try to take a couple in the Motor City. Kraken Hockey makes its season debut on KONP Thursday night here on KONP. And then on Friday, we will not be bringing you Huskies football because one of 2 things will be on the air. Most likely a Port Angeles Rough Rider football game, or it could be the deciding Game 5 of the ALDS, again Friday evening here on KONP. All right, with that out of the way, let's check the rest of the sports with Robert Workman.
NFL Week 5, and the last 2 unbeaten teams of this season fell. So the 17-0 Dolphins of 1972, still the only team to go through a year unscathed. Sunday night, the Bills lost at home to the Patriots 23-20. Andy Borregales booted 3 field goals, the last with 15 seconds left, and New England's defense forced 3 turnovers, 2 of them by Josh Allen. Earlier in the day, the Super Bowl champion Eagles took their first loss, also upset at home by the Broncos 21-17. Denver was down by 14 in the fourth quarter, but Bo Nix led 3 long scoring drives.
Let's go down the field, one play at a time. Let's put a drive together. We stopped talking about points. We said, look, we got to go get a touchdown, and we kind of spoke it into existence.
The Colts stampeded over the Raiders, the Texans trounced the Ravens, and the Cowboys galloped past the Jets. New York is the last winless team in the league. The Saints and the Titans finally broke into the win column. Victories for the Vikings, Panthers, Buccaneers, Lions, and Commanders. Baseball, the American League Division Series, Blue Jays bashed the Yankees 13-7 to go up 2-0 in their best-of-5 series. Rookie Trey Savage held the Yanks hitless for 5 1/3 innings with 11 strikeouts.
Racking up the whiffs, racking up the Ks. Offense behind me putting up runs. The confidence was through the roof.
He left the game with a 12-0 lead. The Jays hit 5 home runs, 2 of them by Dalton Varsho, and they can clinch it tomorrow night in the Bronx. The Mariners tipped the Tigers last night 3-2. That At ALDS is tied 1-1. Back-to-back doubles in the bottom of the 8th by Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez put the M's on top. They move to Detroit for Game 3 tomorrow. Game 2 in the National League Division Series is tonight. That's Monday Sports.
At Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel, Mark Gustafson is precisely the professional you want helping your family during a time of loss.
Every morning when I get out of bed, I have one more opportunity to help a family in need that is grieving, that may be in a cloud, may not know what to do, where to go, who to talk to, and I'm here to help them through that and to be here every day for them.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Friendship and experience can be a real comfort.
When a loved one loses someone, it's a journey that they're going through. It's new territory, so to speak, and I'm able to be there to help them. And again, being hometown, I'm there with them all the way through it from start to finish.
Caring professionals when you need them most. Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel, 452-9701, and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel, 683-5242.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A rally in chip makers has sent stocks to all-time highs as Advanced Micro Device, or AMD, shares are up over 25% today on the news the company signed a deal with OpenAI that could generate tens of billions of dollars in new revenue. The agreement is the latest huge data center deal for OpenAI as the artificial intelligence startup builds out more computing capacity. President Trump saying in a post on Truth Social that beginning November 1st, all medium and heavy-duty truck imports will be tariffed at a rate of 25%. Trump says he's making the move to protect American truck companies such as Peterbilt and Mack Truck. Meanwhile, Stellantis, the automaker that makes Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles, is planning to pump about $10 billion into the U.S. Sources say Stellantis is focused on reclaiming the past success of its Jeep brand, while also looking to possibly make new investments in Chrysler and Dodge, which could mean a new Dodge V8 muscle car. Sources say the investments could be funneled into plants in states such as Illinois and Michigan. I'm Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check of the noontime roads and traffic next.
Angela's Furniture is home to your Stressless by Eckernes experts. Right now is the time to take a look around your living room or office area and ask yourself, does this move me? If the answer is no, let's change that. Stop by Angela's Furniture today and take advantage of 10% off all stressless furniture. Live in a space that moves you by its beauty. Stop by Angela's Furniture today and find out about 10% off all stressless furniture.
Buying locally doesn't always mean paying more. At McCrory Carpet One, they're a part of a cooperative that bands together over 1,000 family businesses just like them to form the largest floor buying group in America. Together, they buy over $7 billion in flooring. That means not only do you get the best prices and quality installation, but you help support local jobs and families. McCrory Carpet One has been proudly serving our community for over 60 years. Always priced right, always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
News Radio KONP. Traffic and roads.
All right, we head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center one last time. That's where Steve's standing by with an eye on the roads for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, kind of steady traffic out there right now. If you're in Port Angeles and Squim, a fair amount of cars trying to make their way through right now. For the most part, we're pretty close to the speed limit getting through town, but there are delays at the stoplights and a little slowdowns in a couple areas. But if you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Squim, you're going to find fairly slow traffic through our construction area right now. That's kind of backing up just a little bit. Baker's Dip and Lee's Creek area. Also in Morris Creek, they have I believe it's the westbound lanes down to a single lane coming around the Morris Creek area, so that is causing some backup issues out there as well. If you're headed beyond Squim, Hood Canal Bridge is good to go with no scheduled marine openings. State ferries are running on time today. If you're headed out towards the Forks area, no real problems there. 101's in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. A little slowdowns through our construction area here. The single lane with the automated stoplights, they've been running some big trucks up and down the hill, and that's been kind of slowing things down. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. So everybody stay safe this afternoon and enjoy it. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Hey, thanks, Steve. We'll have another update on the drive home this afternoon here on KONP. New study offering hope for families concerned about peanut allergies. Details from ABC's Morgan Norwood.
The training videos are meant to educate doctors on how to best navigate peanut allergies with their patients. The study's authors say this simple approach could prevent thousands of peanut allergies each year. Researchers say starting peanut-containing foods between 4 and 6 months can lower a baby's risk of developing a peanut allergy by more than 80%. With the use of these new tools, the data shows doctors were nearly 15 times more likely to follow allergy prevention guidelines.
Over $253 billion. That's what a data analytics company predicts American consumers will spend this holiday shopping season from November 1st till the end of the year. ABC's Chuck Sievertson fills us in.
The over $250 billion in holiday spending would be a 5.3% increase over last year, and many discounts are expected, says Adobe Analytics lead insight analyst Vivek Pandya.
Some of the deepest discounts will go as much as 28%. We see that in categories like electronics. But then we're also anticipating discounts to be pretty competitive for apparel at 25%, appliances at 18%.
Adobe predicts $143 billion will be spent by consumers buying on their phones.
Having trouble making a decision? Well, a new study out says the easiest way to make a decision is by narrowing down your options to only 2 choices. In experiments, 140 participants were asked to choose between 3 different foods throughout multiple rounds with various food choices. During the experiments, the researchers found that rather than weigh all 3 options equally, participants often focused on the 2 options they saw as the most promising. And narrowing the decision-making process down this way actually led the participants to make faster decisions.
The question I get most often is, what's the next big thing? The answer, the singularity. It could happen tomorrow, or maybe the year 2050. Regardless, it is absolutely going to happen. And when it does, my life, yours, all the other 8 billion lives here on planet Earth will change forever. I'm Kim Commando for Oracle. In business, you can have better, cheaper, and faster with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Try OCI for free at oracle.com/Kim. To understand the singularity, you must have at least a surface knowledge of AI. Most people do. What comes next is AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. The singularity is a moment in time when a collection of AI networks will suddenly and spontaneously become aware of each other. They'll learn on their own, reason, and adapt as we do. They will solve problems creatively and quickly. Technology will be supercharged, and AGI will be somewhat unpredictable. That's frightening. And this is what's next. Get my newsletter at getkim.com. In business, they say you can have better, cheaper, or faster, but you only get to pick 2. What if you could have all 3? That's exactly what Cohere, Thomson Reuters, and Specialized Bikes have since they upgraded to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. OCI is the blazing fast platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs, where you can run any workload in a high-performance environment and spend less than with other clouds. How's it faster? OCI block storage delivers more operations per second. Cheaper, up to 50% less for compute, 70% less for storage, and 80% less for networking. Better, in test after test, customers report lower latency and higher bandwidth versus other clouds. This is the cloud built for AI and all your biggest workloads. And right now, with zero commitment, try OCI for free. Just go to oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, do you struggle to finish tedious daily chores? Well, good news. I'll share the latest science on how to make boring tasks more exciting. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
So is it possible to psych yourself up to do something boring like folding laundry or filing paperwork? New research from the UCLA School of Management tells us this approach. Try pairing each boring task with something more engaging and attention-grabbing. For example, in experiments, researchers found study participants would brush their teeth 30% longer if they watched a nature documentary while brushing. And in another experiment, people stuck with their workouts longer if they just listened to an audiobook while exercising. Researchers say these are examples of something known as tangential immersion, And it works because our brain thrives when it feels engaged. That's why doing something you love puts your mind into a state of flow where you lose all sense of time. So, try finding ways to pair your most tedious tasks with something that engages your mind. That's using the science of tangential immersion.
Hi everyone, it's Leslie Robertson from the Port Angeles Chamber, and I want to tell you about a great opportunity to support our local area. Would you like to meet people from all over the world? Do you like the chance to brag about this beautiful place we live? The Port Angeles Visitor Center is looking for volunteers to help people seeking advice, information, and recommendations when they come to visit our delightful town. Visitor Center shifts are short, the schedule is easy, and very flexible. Whether you want a regular day or you'd like to fill in as needed, we will make it work for you. Knowledge about the area is a plus, but don't worry, we'll train you. It's a great chance to meet new people, make new friends, and get to know the great group of volunteers we already have working at the Visitor Center. You'll be glad you did. If you're interested, email info@portangeles.org or call the Visitor Center at 360-452-2363. Or you can find more information on our website, portangeles.org.
Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Squim, serving the Olympic Peninsula now for 80 years. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. When it comes to sending federal troops to U.S. cities,
the president wants to help these local leaders who have been completely ineffective in securing their own cities.
Says White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, but one of those leaders, Chicago, is suing to try to stop the deployment. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says there's no invasion. State and local law enforcement are managing what they need.
Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities.
A federal judge declined to immediately issue a temporary restraining order that blocks the deployment of troops into Chicago. Oral arguments set for later this week. Meanwhile, the White House is appealing an Oregon judge's order that blocks the deployment of federal troops to Portland. As the government shutdown continues, Leavitt also corrected the president's comments. Over the weekend, he said that federal employees have already been fired. She said he was referring to workers who've been furloughed, sent home without pay, but did say
the Office of Management and Budget is continuing to work with agencies on who, unfortunately, is going to have to be laid off if this shutdown continues.
The acting head of the CDC is echoing the president's recent suggestion to break up the measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR vaccine, into 3 separate shots, says ABC's Chuck Severson.
The suggestion does not appear to have any scientific backing. Acting CDC Director and Deputy Health Secretary Jim O'Neill is not a medical doctor or a scientist. 2 recommended doses of the MMR shot have shown to be 97% effective against measles, 86% effective against mumps, and 1 shot has been 97% effective against rubella. There's no evidence it overwhelms a child's immune system.
Indirect talks underway in Egypt focused on releasing hostages and ending fighting in Gaza, and the National Weather Service says a tornado in North Dakota in June was an EF5, the first in the U.S. since 2013. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez, now a Fox Sports analyst, is now facing a felony battery charge in connection with an altercation early Saturday in Indianapolis that led to Sanchez getting stabbed. ABC's Ike Ajachi has more.
He waived his initial court appearance for those misdemeanor charges. However, there is another pre-trial hearing
for that felony charge, that new case. That's going to happen on November 4th. And again, if he's found guilty of this felony charge, he can face 1 to 6 years in prison.
He's still hospitalized in stable condition. 2 Americans and 1 Japanese scientist were awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine today for their work on how the immune system fights off germs without overreacting. American consumers may be noticing an increase in one type of food. Beef prices have never been higher.
It's a basic economic principle played out at the grocery store meat counter. Demand for beef is up.
From the supply side,
says livestock economist Andrew Griffith,
we have the smallest cattle inventory since 1951.
helping to push the average price of a pound of ground beef to $6.32, nearly 14% higher than at this time last year. The expectation is that the national cattle herd will shrink further in 2026, pushing beef prices even higher. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The NBA says it's not considering moving the All-Star Game out of the new home of the LA Clippers as it investigates whether the team circumvented the salary cap to pay superstar Kawhi Leonard. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hey everyone, it's Betsy Sue from Airport Garden Center. I wanted to let everyone know that our biggest sale of the year has started. Each week throughout the month of October, certain plants in that category will be 40% off. Outdoor glazed pottery and wood trellises will be 20% off all month long. You don't want to miss these savings. Pat and our knowledgeable staff will be here with any questions you have. We can't wait to see you.
Fall brings cooler temperatures, which means less stress on grassy areas. That means now is the perfect time to plant grass seed. We carry a wide variety of seeds specifically meant for our area, as well as organic lawn fertilizers that are kid and pet friendly. Help your lawn transition to its resting phase by mulching your lawn with G&B Soil Building Conditioner. Buy 3 bags and get the 4th bag free until the end of the month. Come visit us for any questions and we'll set you up for success. Remember, come see us at Airport Garden Center on Edgewood Drive.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. A first-of-its-kind project to fight climate change now underway at the Port of Port Angeles. Scientists with Ebb Carbon have launched Project Makoma. It's a 2-year pilot project designed to reduce ocean acidification and pulling carbon from the atmosphere. The system draws seawater from the harbor, removes acid, and returns a more alkaline flow, a process expected to remove up to 500 tons of carbon dioxide a year and treat about 70 million gallons of seawater locally. Researchers will monitor the effects on oysters, eelgrass, and other marine life locally. If you're heading into Port Townsend, new speed limit signs on State Route 20. It's now 40 miles per hour between the Highway 19 interchange and the city limits of Port Townsend.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Daytime highs approaching 62 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 49. Daytime highs approaching 62 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Mid-50s Wednesday with a chance for isolated rain showers. Turning warmer Thursday with highs in the upper 50s. Chance for showers continues. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 57 Friday, 54 Saturday, and 52 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 61 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, a little later on in the program, we're going to be having a little bit of a candidate forum with a couple of candidates for Port Angeles School Board. But first, we welcome in this segment to our show. Every month we talk with Steve Rader Ginsburg over at Field Hall. He is the executive director and the artistic director there as well. And we like to highlight what's going on over at Field Hall in the upcoming month. So, Steve, great to have you back.
Hey, thanks, Todd.
So let's October as well here, and let's talk about what is shaping up to be, well, kind of a busy fall.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. These things are beautiful.
Now, for some reason, we're cutting out here with you, Steve. I'm not sure. I heard you, and then you're not. I'm not sure if you can hear me. All right.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Now I can hear you much better. you were there, and then you weren't.
People often say that about me.
I mean that in a good way, though, in some ways. But anyway, let's talk about October and kind of the weeks ahead here at Field Hall.
We have quite a bit. October, things just continue to remain wall-to-wall busy, and I think if your listeners are on our email list and get our email updates, you get announcements all the time, like our Winter Spring was just announced 5 days ago, so our members got a pre-sale for some pretty big shows coming up. But let's talk about, this fall and what's happening. So coming up in October, it's all the rage about Spinal Tap 2 is out there. So we thought there's so many people who probably never saw the greatest film ever made, the first Spinal Tap movie, as the first ever mockumentary that was kind of made and set that up. So that's this Thursday. And then Saturday, we encourage and everybody to get downtown for the Crab Festival. Enjoy your crab, enjoy your meals, enjoy the music that they have there. And also on Saturday night, we have comedy night. And it is just a good situation to go up into our Sunset Lounge and listen to some of the best up-and-coming comics in the Pacific Northwest. And we have Monica Nevi and Dylan Jenkins. Monica is the headliner, who has been on Fox's nationally syndicated TV show Laughs, and also ESPN Sports Center and Seattle's show New Day Northwest. So she's just really up and coming, and that's going to be a great headliner with Monica Nevi. And then on Sunday, it's a free jazz in our Sunset Lounge. And that is with the Linda Dowdell Trio featuring Tom Varner. And Linda is a well-known pianist from Squim. And then we move on after that, which I really encourage people getting. We don't often do a lot of, straight theater pieces and have theater on the stage. We do music, we do dance, we do films. There is there's a new play called The Things Around Us by a Seattle-born acclaimed multidisciplinary artist named Aham Fule, who is a Peninsula native. So he is living out in the Chimicum area, and is a national performer, really, really well known in the theater world, and we couldn't be happier to have The Things Around Us coming here.
So describe that show. What is this about? Give us a little bit of a preview.
This show is awesome. I have seen it. Like, I try to see most things before I let it into our town and in front of, a lot of audiences, because I want to know it's got greatness to it. This one sure does. I saw Aham perform this piece. It's really it's a biographical piece, and he is a brilliant musician, plays trumpet and also some percussion and loops those. So he gives himself some audio backgrounds to some of the work that he does as an actor. And as an actor, he tells stories of what it was like to live in our area through the pandemic from a kind of not a straight way of just like it's not like a diary, but it's more like, his thoughts and what's happening in the world and his life and some of the things that is very relatable, but it's like, wow, I didn't think about that during COVID. So it really brings in some great things.
All right, so that's and tickets still available for that. So, but grab them while you can.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And that's on the 16th, by the way, just in case we missed that earlier. Okay, moving ahead, you've got some more stuff. It gets pretty busy. You got a few things. I'm looking at the calendar coming up that are some bangers, as we like to say.
Yeah. Well, let me tell about a couple of local things. Yeah. I'll just stick with some of the local stuff and then go on to some of the national stuff. But locally, born in Port Angeles, we have Ingrid Nixon, who has grown up to become a professional storyteller, and we're partnering with Story People of Clallam County to tell creepy stories. This is the second year we've done this around Halloween time. It's really fun to get into a room and hear some old-fashioned storytelling and some yarns, and she is really dynamic and has won lots of storytelling prizes. That is October 23rd. And then on October 25th, we're bringing back Seattle musician Stephanie Ann Johnson, Stephanie has a program on KNKX called The Groove Yard, so people might know her from that, as well as the concerts she's done here in the past. She did open for Macy Gray when Macy Gray was here with us.
That's right. She was phenomenal. In fact, I think there were people raving as much about Stephanie as they were Macy.
And that's why, exactly, and that's why we really, really wanted Stephanie back, and have brought her back a couple times. We're throwing a Halloween mega party, and that mega party it starts with a family-friendly DJ set. This is on Halloween. It's on a Friday, so we couldn't resist throwing a big party. So it starts with a family-friendly DJ set on October 31st, 5 to 7 p.m., and then and that's what we're calling the Monster Mash hours with the DJ.
Okay.
Then after that, we have Ant Bath, who are surf rockers, and after that, we have Lucky and the Locals, which is headlined by Joel Ricci of Funkways.
And that's the zombie prom.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So kind of give us a little hint as what you're hoping will happen with that, besides some great kind of fun music.
I hope, when people are out on the dance floor, we see some, limbs fall off, those zombies, and we just want it to be a bit spooky. We want to light it very fun. Of course, we always have food and drink there for our events, and this will be something that will bring. It'll feel like a big old Halloween house party, basically, at Field Hall.
And creative costumes encouraged, right?
Yes, definitely encouraged.
Now, we need
encouraging those costumes.
Do you need some tickets for those? How does this lay out? Tell us how we get involved with the the Monster Mash and the Zombie Party.
Yeah, just RSVP, get online. We have very, very low price tickets, free for under 18 years old. So if you want to bring, your kids and have fun for a couple of hours, it's a very, very accessible way to get on in there. But just for our own sake, so we know, because it could be, 400 people want to come in, but we can fit 250 in that room. So definitely get your sign up for it.
Well, and if enough limbs fall off, you'll be able to get some more in there. I joke. Okay, you want to give us? Let's look ahead a little bit into November, just to give a tease as to things. We'll probably talk to you before some of these arrive, but just to get some things on the radar.
I mean, this talk about a banger month, as you were saying. When we hit November, we have a show, beautiful show, with a group called Las Cafeteras celebrating Day of the Dead. The show is called Hasta la Muerte. It's a full band with dance and some theater, all showing the imagination of Day of the Dead, and brings us into this 2-act, multi-dimensional theatrical musical celebration.
And Las Cafeteras has come here before. Some folks may be familiar with these folks.
Yes, and that was basically a big fun dance party when they came last time. This is a whole different
show,
thing, but they have great energy, great energy. We are really excited that we're working with actually the Taiwanese government and the Taiwanese group called Hung Dance. They have been blowing up, and they've been touring. They headlined a dance festival in France and also here in the U.S. And it's the American Dance Festival is what they headlined, and they have a play called a movement piece called Birdie, and this is November 12th. This is going to be one of the greatest dance spectacles that we have, and they are just doing a tremendously beautiful job. You can go to our website and see some of the trailers of this work. We have videos of lots of this work on our website, so that's fieldhallevents.org, and you'll be able to see that work. We just had Masters of Hawaiian Music, which was a sold-out show, and we're bringing in another Hawaiian master. His name is Kenny Endo on November 16th. He's a contemporary taiko drum player, so he is a Japanese-born, grew up in Hawaii, lives in Hawaii, and he's been touring for 50 years.
Whoa.
This is his 50th anniversary tour.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those taiko drum things, I mean, those are just, you got to experience that once in your lifetime if you don't go to one of these shows.
Yeah. Really, really shakes you up. It's incredibly rhythmic, and the percussion is not to be missed. But he also has some softer interludes, and I think it's going to be it'll be a really, really nice way he'll bring us through this. And I'm sure we're going to be doing some Hawaiian food again, as we did this last time. We partnered with the Kynes and had some kalua pork, Hawaiian barbecue chicken, and we'll be doing something like that again for Kenny Endo.
Now, before we let you go, you referred to this too. You had a preview, and this is a chance maybe to pitch for folks to become a member, because you get some benefit, like finding out about some things we haven't even yet talked about.
There is a lot. I am calling this year the big and bold year, because we are going bigger and bolder than we ever have before. So in the spring, we are bringing groups like the Peking Acrobats, who have just been thrilling audiences physically and dynamically for many years. We have a dance group called Momix bringing Alice of Alice in Wonderland. We have some music groups like Pink Martini that's coming, as well as the Dirty Dozen Brass Band from New Orleans. The other big one that I think we should be excited about is the Devin Allman Blues Summit, and this is Devin Allman of the Allman Brothers family. So he's got some really amazing top musicians bringing that Allman Brothers feel and traveling with the Blues Summit. So members have been able to purchase tickets for all of these performances. I will say pretty much all the prime seats for Pink Martini are gone. That is one of the hottest shows. That's in January. That's coming out. And it was an exciting ticket release.
So how does one become a member? People hear us talk about that. It's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, you you just call or stop by the box office. Our box office is open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can call or drop in and get all the information you need. Sign up to be a member there. And you can also go on our website at fieldhallevents.org and just search under membership.
All right. Lots going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, one thing I just want to really make sure we get this out there before so people know is that our famed Thompson Club, which is the jazz club in town, the Dinner Jazz Club, it is coming back on November 22nd with the Delvon Lamar Organ Trio. Now, Delvon Lamar plays a B3 Hammond organ, and if you like Booker T and the MGs and that sound, this is Delvon Lamar. He used to live in Seattle until he got pretty big, and now he lives in Chicago and tours through. He tours internationally now, and so we just asked him to come back to the area because he's got such a good base here and has played the Seattle circuit for so long. We wanted him to come on back and see this new venue.
Now the key there, though, is tickets to those things go quick, right?
Yeah, it's only 200 tickets.
Yeah.
There are 2 shows and 2 seatings, so you only watch the show with 100 people in the room, and it gives you that real intimacy of a downtown jazz club. And I guess, Todd, that's what we are, downtown Port Angeles Jazz Club.
Yeah, well, like it or not, you made yourself into that. So there you go, which is good. The venue's gorgeous, and you guys do a really cool spiff up, I'll call it that, when you do the Thompson Club stuff too. So it's pretty neat down there. It's kind of a whole different vibe in a good way. So, all right, lots going on. We're going to have you on in a few weeks. We'll talk about some holiday things and some other things as well, because December we didn't really touch on, but you got all sorts sorts of things happening there. I just tell people, get over to fieldhallevents.org and just launch into the calendar. There's something.
That's right.
There's something for everyone on there.
That's right. Yeah, the Seattle Comedy Competition on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So if you're looking you want to get score tickets to be able to have a plan with your family, that's the top recommendation for me.
All right. And just putting it out there, tickets to a show sometimes make good gift items as well. Just saying, if you're starting to think about that this time of year, right?
That's right. That's right. Nothing better than say, have this great experience.
Yeah, right on. Steve's always great to talk to you. Keep up the good work down there. Hang on, I want to talk to you off the air for just a sec, if you would. All right?
Thank you.
All right. That's Steve Rader Ginsburg. He is the artistic director, the executive director at Field Hall, and they got lots lined up. And again, head on over to their website, fieldhallevents.org. Check out the entire lineup of things. Get some tickets and go enjoy that wonderful facility and some great, great entertainment that's lined up here locally. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hey, crab lovers! This is Rose from the Dungeness Crab Festival with a special deal for locals. Through next Monday, October 6th, get advanced discount tickets for just $30 cash for a half crab dinner at this year's festival. Go to Fogtown Coffee Port Angeles or either Bar Hop location, Squim or Port Angeles, for this special discount advance ticket, and we'll see you at Dungeness Crab Festival, October 10th through 12th on the PA waterfront.
Your discount crab dinner tickets are good for Sunday, October 12th only.
This is Alan Barnard, and this volunteer spotlight shines on the American Legion Riders, part of our local American Legion Post 29. The Legion Riders share their special bond between military service and the motorcycling community. Our local Legion Riders regularly provide flag lines for military honors at services for local veterans who pass away. They honor veterans 12 months a year at graveside and church services, rain or shine. They also ride in parades, assist in patriotic ceremonies around the county, and raise funds for charities and scholarships, and so much more. More veterans who are motorcycle enthusiasts are needed. If you want to join the Riders, please email rjtucker1964@gmail.com. That's rjtucker1964@gmail.com. It's said that service is the rent we pay for our space on Earth. Well, that's why we present this volunteer spotlight, sponsored by Jim Hagwood of PA Realty.
It's time for Your Port of PA Today. A look inside the port and share what's in it for you.
I'm Port Commissioner Connie Bove. The Port of Port Angeles is excited to bring you a look inside your port, the wide-ranging companies operating in our facilities, and share exciting upcoming projects designed to develop and upgrade infrastructure to attract even more business and jobs to our area. Did you know over 50 companies are on port property, totaling over 1,000 jobs? The Port of PA stretches well beyond the Port Angeles Harbor. The port owns and operates 2 airports, William R. Fairchild International and the CQ Airport, providing convenient and essential access to some of the more remote areas of the peninsula. We'll continue to bring you insights from the Port of PA on future segments. Email hello@portofpa.com or keep up to date on Facebook.
This has been Your Port of PA Today. Explore portofpa.com.
All right, welcome back to the program. Another quick break, and we'll be back with a candidate forum. We'll be listening to the candidates for Port Angeles School Director Position 2. Mary Hebert and Nancy Hamilton will be joining us on the other side of the break. Stick around.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Todd Ortloff now with a word for Olympic Peninsula title. They don't just have customers, they have raving fans. Yeah, for over 40 years, they've been earning the repeat business of their customers by treating them with respect, delivering what they promise, prioritizing the security of customers' funds and information, and always providing service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title and see for yourself why they've earned over 500 five-star reviews, and they've been voted best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
The cabinetry in your home should keep you organized while fitting your space, your style, and your budget. At Hartnagel Building Supply, we make sure it does that and more. We're the only local company that sells and installs cabinetry, so you're supported from start to finish and beyond. Our installer isn't some outside contractor. He's an actual employee owner with over 30 years of experience who works with our designer to ensure a perfect installation. And it all starts with a free design consultation, an in-home measure, and digital 3D renderings, so you know exactly what you're getting before you order. With multiple options of cabinetry brands, countertops, and organizing solutions, we match you with the best fit. And it's not just kitchens and baths. Think mudrooms, garages, laundry rooms, bars, and more. Visit lumbertraders.com for more info. And as always, we deeply appreciate you for shopping local and employee-owned.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The White House's federal troops need to be sent to Chicago to protect federal immigration agents, but the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, says
there is no invasion here. There is no insurrection here. And local and state law enforcement are on the job and managing what they need to.
He and the mayor filed a lawsuit to try to stop the deployment. A federal judge in Oregon over the weekend blocked the Trump administration from deploying the National Guard to Portland. The government shutdown continues. The Senate expected to vote today on a bill to reopen the government, but it does not include Democratic demands to reverse Medicaid cuts or extend insurance subsidies. The acting CDC director says he's calling on vaccine makers to separate the MMR vaccine into separate shots, echoing a suggestion last month from President Trump that health experts say could be ineffective with no benefit. And indirect talks have begun in Egypt, focusing at ending the Israel-Hamas war. This is ABC News.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Daytime highs approaching 62 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 49. Daytime highs approaching 62 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Mid-50s Wednesday with a chance for isolated rain showers. Turning warmer Thursday with highs in the upper 50s. Chance for showers continues. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 57 Friday, 54 Saturday, and 52 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 61 degrees.
And welcome back to the show. As promised, we're going to spend the last part today talking with a couple of the candidates for position 2 on the Port Angela School Board. The incumbent, Mary Hebert, joins us, and the challenger, Nancy Hamilton, in the studio. Thanks, both of you, for coming in today and spending a little time with us. And I'd like to give each of you a minute or two to kind of give an opening statement. We'll get to a couple of questions here. So hurrying right along, we go to Mary first, and welcome, and an opening statement from you.
Thank you. Well, we have a lot of exciting things going on in the Port Angeles schools, and I'm happy to be here today. I started this 4 years ago, and as a new position, and I have, for those of you who may not be familiar with me, I'm passionate about quality public education, and I've been a teacher in the school district for 19 years. I've served as a principal for 9 years and have been assistant superintendent for 5 years. So you can tell I love being in schools and around students. And so at the end of that part of my career, I made a decision that it would be interesting to be part of the school board and have a position there. And especially with all the experience that I've had in the classroom as a teacher and as an assistant superintendent, I felt that I had the qualifications to really do the work that I love to do, which is to work with students, to look at programs, to be sure that we're doing the very best we can to improve student achievement.
All right, that's Mary Hebert and Nancy Hamilton. A little bit about why you're running.
Hi, thanks, Todd. My name is Nancy Hamilton, and I'm running for Port Angeles School District Board of Directors, Position 2. Excuse me. Active public service has been the heart of my life for as long as I can remember. I have served our country in the United States Army as a combat medic, taking care of the troops and their families. I have cared for the elderly with dignity and compassion. I have stood alongside survivors of sexual assault. I have been there as a peer support for people navigating hard situations. I am a mother of 4. 2 of my children are currently attending schools in the Port Angeles School District. I am also the wife of an educator in the Port Angeles School District. I have been a family support and advocate, helping to ensure students and families have the resources and opportunities they need to succeed. Today, I serve as the community liaison for my tribe, and I collaborate with community partners and work in project management. What I have learned from these roles is that the most meaningful changes happen when people feel seen, heard, and included in decisions that affect their lives. And that is exactly the kind of approach I want to bring to the school board. I understand that in addition to overseeing the accountability of the superintendent, responsible stewardship of funds, and policy co-creation, that I would be accountable to the community in my representation. I will work to ensure the transparency in decision-making and budget priorities. I will work to ensure that our dollars are invested not only in buildings and infrastructure, but to our classrooms, where resources make the greatest differences for successful student outcomes. In addition to the wonderful support I have received from the general community thus far, I have also been honored to receive the endorsements of the Washington Education Association and both the Lower Elwha and Jamestown tribes. I want to thank you all and them for their trust and my commitment to transparency, accountability, and community-focused leadership. Thank you.
All right, first question, we'll go to Nancy, and it builds on just what you just said there, is what would you do to increase transparency and public engagement if you're elected?
So as far as transparency goes, I think it's, been a recent issue of late. I would make numbers clear and accessible to the public, show that student learning comes from spending choices. Accountability, I would ensure funds are tracked and used responsibly. I would recognize that there's taxpayer trust at play and the community wants to see value for their dollars. I would ensure decisions are student-centered and connect every financial decision back to the impact on students. We need to find balance in between facility needs.
All right, and then the same question to you, Mary. If reelected, how do you increase transparency?
We have a lot of, we have opportunities for people to look at our budget and areas that may concern them. And we made a decision to have open time before each public, before our meetings. And we felt, after hearing some concerns from parents, that it wasn't really, they weren't feeling that they could come or find out more. And so that was certainly something that we dealt with right away and made a decision that before each of our school board meetings, we have an open meeting so that parents can come and ask questions, look at budget information, have any of their questions dealt with. Because before it was always that they would come to a meeting and it's very limited access. And so when we heard some parents saying they'd really like to have more transparency and answer questions, we open up at 4 o'clock. Our school board meetings are at 5 so that they can come in and ask questions. That would be true of any budget or any concern they may have about their local school, so that they can have the input that they're looking for. And that gives us an opportunity, because during the actual board meetings, we don't have the opportunity to do that because it's a meeting and that's how it's expected to be run. But we want to hear from people if they have concerns or additional questions. So this Thursday will be our next parent time before our school board meeting. So if someone is out there and they have a question or concern, we would want them to feel free to come to the Lincoln Center and have time to talk with us and ask questions. So I think that was our first big change to make sure that people had an opportunity to ask questions, whether it's budget, their local school. We all want to work together to have the very best outcomes.
All right, next question goes over. Do you want to add to that? We can go back and forth on that for a minute.
I was going to say that I think people really love that access and appreciate it, but I think some of the issues lie in between when the timing is. That's been in place for a while, and the feedback I've gotten from the community that it doesn't work super well, because when those access to the board is offered, a lot of times people are working at 4 o'clock. People are still getting off work at 5 o'clock when the school board meetings happen. So those are just a couple of points. The way school board meetings are structured, according to the policy, and I have a copy of it here, they're supposed to take public comment at the beginning of each meeting so that before they take action on items. And so I think there's a lot of frustration stemming from the community because of that, because of the structure of the meetings as well. I think they realize it's not a town hall. I think they realize that it's not a back and forth and that it's just being in accordance with the Public Meetings Act. But I do think that's where some of the frustration stems.
So, Mary, thoughts about just that?
Well, that is something that we've heard, and we've had, people come and bring up the ideas that they have or the concerns that they have, but we're open to anyone's suggestions, and so if that's something that is a concern to people, that's something we'll take action on.
Right, we'll start on the next question here. This is about budgets and priorities, really kind of more of a philosophical question. Mary, describe how you would determine your guiding principles, if you will, on how you determine which programs or services should be protected from cuts.
Oh boy, that's well, the cuts are a real concern right now, and schools have always had some concerns with our state and how they take care of cuts. And then with new federal guidelines, it's really impactful for us as a school district, and a concern, because we were having difficulty with budgets and local from our state, let alone to have the federal changes that are taking place. A quick example that some people may be familiar with is that we've had additional people who bring us AmeriCorps, thank you, who have been AmeriCorps workers, and that was great for our schools, and that was one of the federal cuts. In addition to the special education, which we thought we were going to gain some more impact from, it did not turn out to be the amount that we were anticipating. So these are all areas of real concern, and it impacts us locally, and we have to continue to look for ways to balance the budget to make sure that we're serving our students and their needs. And so it's a big amount of work in trying to get all of these needs met, and without cutting into programs and the monies that our local people have given for special music programs and other options. And we really value what our community puts forth so that we have these extra programs, and we know how important they are to our community. So it is something that we have to balance and shuffle around to be sure that we're meeting the needs of students, but also meeting the needs of our community and what their expectations are.
All right, Nancy, same question. Kind of, what are your guiding principles on what,
Sure.
budgeting, what gets cut, what doesn't?
So, again, all the programs are so pivotal to what the community, like there's no way to, well, I guess there is ways, but a budget shows what we value as a community, as representation of the community. We should prioritize classrooms, so our students first and foremost at all times, then staff, and then I should think we should take a really hard look at problems coming up the pipeline. Like, we have an awesome buildings plan for 30 years, facility structure. It's amazing. We should do the same for our staff, because right now, teachers in Port Angeles School District are the lowest paid on the Olympic Peninsula. We need to stay competitive so that we retain talent, that we retain great teachers, that we provide a really present and vital school climate for present teachers who are also wonderful. But we should initiate a plan to proactively address that before it's an issue 5 years down the line when we can't sustain and we have different things going on with, possible strikes or whatever. We need to be proactive about that.
Follow-up question. I'll follow on that. Some people say maybe it's too top-heavy, that the administration needs to be cut in the school district. Your thoughts about
I agree.
that?
I think prior to programs and prior to teachers, which are so connected and so close to our students and directly impactful on their outcomes, I think that superintendents are not superintendents. Superintendent's a very valuable position, and so is administration. Everybody holds great value. But because of the proximity to students, I think that administration should be considered being evaluated and cut first.
All right, Mary, same question about looking at the administrative load at the district.
Well, the administrative load is something that we look at and evaluate every year as we look at the budget and what has to happen. And it's one of those things that, because I was a union leader, I know that we always want to see wages be competitive and grow, but we have to also be cautious because our funding comes from the state. And so that is the hand that we're dealt. And so we have to have a lot of time to process what's happening, what we need, what our enrollment is. Enrollment is a critical factor as we look at the budget. And this year we're very pleased that our enrollment has increased, and that's a factor that has to be considered regardless of whether it's who we have in the district. We have to be sure that we're meeting all the needs of students in looking at the budget and serving the needs of them with the staff. So it's a complicated issue, but it's one that we look at very closely so that we can make determination that will serve the students the best. So it's not teachers or administrative, or we have a lot of issues to balance, and we need to be very aware of the income that comes into our school district through the state. That is a difficult task, and I think that people have seen on TV a lot of districts that we consider well off have been really struggling. And so the budget is a serious issue, and there's no easy one answer that just getting rid of this person will create our need with the amount of money. So it's complicated, and we take it very seriously. And the first part of that is our student count, and we go from there.
Just to confirm, FTE, I thought that declined by 106 since last year. Is that not accurate?
That is not, well, we're doing the current, and that is, we came up from where we were, yes.
Were we? Okay, I just thought I had heard it was.
All right. Mary, we go to you next. This came from our text line. Somebody wants to know about your take and your position on the transgender issue. Certainly that's been in the news a lot about sports involvement and all of that. Some of this goes around what the WIAA has taken on, what the state school superintendent has also said as well. So just your thoughts about that, and then where you see Port Angeles School District from your board perspective in this debate.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are going to take care of all students that are in our school district. And people may have varying opinions about that, but we're going to follow what the law determines, and we're going to make sure that all students are treated with dignity and respect within our school district, and that we're following along the lines of our law. So to make sure that all students receive the education they need and are treated respectfully.
All right, Nancy, same question about the transgender issue. Just your thoughts on it.
Thank you. No, I agree. Like, all students should be treated the very same and have equal access and feel safe and welcomed and wanted in their school environment. So I would support what Washington state law supports in regards to that.
Okay. Let's talk about staffing and support. We've kind of, in the budget discussion here, talked about this as well. Nancy, we'll go to you about that. What specifically would you do differently as a policy that might lend to better support for staff? You've talked about trying to retain teachers, for example.
Oh, there's a couple of things going on. AI is coming into play. We're providing resources for students to take part in learning about AI and using it in career paths, and we should do the same for teachers. We may already be doing professional development for teachers in AI that I'm unaware of, or I know that there was an introductory thing, but I'm not sure if it's ongoing. I think that would be really positive. I think pay is the biggest deal, just because they are the lowest paid on the Olympic Peninsula, and that is going to be an issue. Again, because, there's thousands of dollars that separate even the next county. And there's different variables to that, and I understand that, but that's why you need to initiate a plan. It might take 5 years or so, but you need to initiate a plan to bring teachers to have competitive wages so that we retain and attract the best people to be teaching our children, and for our children to be enjoying their school days that much more, just by the energy and the intelligence and the capacity of the teacher that's provided them.
All right, Mary, same question about retaining the best staff. How do you go about it?
I think that the teaching conditions are a critical factor for each building, and it very much is something that we review and that the principal reviews, so that you get down to the actual people who can really help and assist with that. So it's not something that we can just quickly brush over in terms of what we have available and the cost, and it all comes together in a very important part of the answer to that question, because of course the teachers are the fundamental piece that we want to support, embrace, that are responsible and caring for our youth. And so that is something that has to be looked at and is part of the budget. And so that is something that's ongoing. And the value of teachers, we know, is incredible. And so we want to make sure that we support both the staff and the students in making these decisions that are hard and underfunded. But that's a commitment that we make too. So.
All right, we're almost out of time. I promised to give each of you a couple of minutes for closing remarks. So Mary, we'll go to you first. And why should we vote for you?
I am thrilled with our community and the impact that they have made in looking at new construction. And I just want to say that one of our commitments as a board was that we would try to hire local people, because we're passionate about that opportunity. And at this point, with our local construction, we have injected into our community $7 million for contractors that are local. And so I just want to give that shout out that we've kept our word for that very important thing, to get our dollars used locally. And in addition, we have a lot of not just contractors, we have people that, like our, I'll stay with contractors for a minute. We have bids that are taken here locally. We have funding, the funds that we interject into, like Angelus Millwork, all of Hartnagel's, all of those local contractors. And we've also made a request that we would like to make sure that our students are involved in the building and can have that opportunity to see what construction looks like, just watch what's happening at Stevens. And if you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, it would be a great thing to do, because the students are being shown different job positions. They have that opportunity to talk with the builders. Some of the builders have made a decision to stay in Port Angeles, which is thrilling to us, that they want to be part of our local economy and part of our building construction. And so it's a real positive win-win for all of us. And we're thrilled that that's coming right along. Stevens will be ready to be open in 27, Franklin in 28, and the high school in 29. So we have a lot of construction left to do, but we're having some very positive people wanting to be a part of this community and build our schools.
All right, that's Mary Hebert. Nancy Hamilton, a bit about why we should vote for you.
Thanks again. Well, I'm a parent. I think that parents in Port Angeles deserve representation on the board. I'm very versed. I'm knowledgeable. I know a lot of the teachers. I know a lot of the staff. I'm familiar with the institution. I am just here for people. I'm approachable. I'm kind. I'm accessible. I will respond to you. I'm very responsive. In closing, I would like to thank you again for this opportunity. Port Angeles is a place of incredible potential. I know our schools can be a place where families want to stay, professionals want to relocate, and students graduate prepared for whichever path they choose. With collaboration, transparency, and focus on equity, we can strengthen our district's reputation and ensure that every student receives the education they deserve. I ask for your trust and your vote to serve on the school board and put in the work to build strong schools and a stronger community for Port Angeles and our kids. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nancy Hamilton. Thanks, Mary Hebert. And ballots will be heading out shortly, and people will be having some choices to make. And we're going to be, you've kicked off my first of what will be many of these forums here in the next couple of weeks. So thank you for that. We're going to take a break and wrap things up on our show right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, it's Alicia with Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, where we're more than a workplace, we're a family. We're worker-owned, worker-ran, and worker-profited, and proud to be named Emerging Business of the Year by our community. If you're a caregiver looking for a place where you're valued, or a family seeking care you can trust, you belong with us. Join our team, or let us care for your loved one. Visit ridgeline.coop, that's ridgeline.coop, Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, owned by caregivers, trusted by families.
So, two Brits walk into a rural Georgia fish camp in 1989. Sounds like the start of a joke, right? Well, it is, and it's also the setup for The Foreigner, the award-winning comedy hitting the main stage at the Port Angeles Community Playhouse. Meet Froggy, a soldier with an accent nobody understands, and Charlie, his painfully shy pal who'd rather not talk at all. Foggy convinces the locals that Charlie doesn't speak a word of English, and that little fib snowballs into overheard secrets, dangerous plots, and some of the funniest hijinks you'll ever see on stage. Winner of multiple theatre awards, The Foreigner took the theatre world by charm and remains one of the most crowd-pleasing comedies of the last 45 years. Catch it at PACP Playhouse on Lauridsen Boulevard, Friday and Tuesday nights at 7, with matinees Saturday and Sunday at 2, now through October 12th. The Foreigner. Don't just hear about it, laugh through it.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. Call 360-968-4943.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, good old-fashioned customer service never goes out of style. We've been closing real estate transactions in Clallam County for over 40 years and have earned the repeat business of our customers because we treat people with respect, put the security of our customers' funds and information as priority number one, and always provide service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title and see why we've been voted the best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
Hey, it's Hannah from Brown's Outdoor. The days are shorter and the fall chill is in the air. Fend off that fall chill with a new insulated jacket from Cotopaxi, Patagonia, or North Face. We also have lots of new flannels and fleece tops to keep you warm. Fall means rain, and Brown's is stocked up with a large selection of new rain jackets and pants from Marmot, Outdoor Research, and North Face. At Brown's, we'll keep you warm and dry from head to toe. Brown's Outdoor, family owned since 1919.
The Port Angeles Fine Arts Center is calling all pumpkin carvers. Join one of our workshops on Saturday, October 18th to take your carving skills to the next level. Pumpkins and tools will be provided, and you will automatically be entered into the contest as part of the Celebration of Shadows Fall Festival. Or carve at home and drop off your pumpkin on Festival Day. All pumpkins will be on display for the walk starting at 6 p.m. Winners will receive prizes and awesome gifts from local businesses. Register at pafac.org.
Hi, this is Clallam PUD. If you're always on the go, you'll love our Smart Hub mobile app. You can pay your bill, report outages or other problems, and unlock new ways to save energy through monitoring your usage history, all from your phone. It's more than an app. It's a key to saving time and money. Innovation in your pocket, that's power. Download the app from our website at clallampud.net. Clallam PUD, bringing energy to life.
In conjunction with Squim Valley Chapel and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Home, we're excited to announce the installation of 3 additional niche banks within the Veterans Circle at Mount Angeles Memorial Park in Port Angeles. Each bank has 48 niches, and each niche comfortably houses 1 to 2 sets of remains. We are proud to help serve veterans and their families by adding this additional memorial space to Mount Angeles Memorial Park. Peninsula